the jitters get a grip of you when you're on stage, things just turn into the worst case scenario of your own ability.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the fans are definitely rallying for them at this point, right? But we'll go straight into the bans and picks here. Vitality gonna start off.
Okay, so Musashi ban the Diadya, and then the Mai and the Dahlia from the Kagendra side. A little bit of respect here, but Nighty kind of starting it out with the Dharma. He did play that one in the EME play-ins as well. He's kind of well-versed with it. I like the fact that they're just going to go with their best foot forward, so to speak.
Okay, and now on the priority of taking out the Mai shirt, we've seen it. Finally, it had a win in game number 3. Now they're respecting it to not be present even from Team Vitality. The Arlie has been one of the favorites of today, and so far the win rate is slowly rising. With this kind of partnership, I think Vitality on the next steps, they might ban out the best partner of this Arlie, or maybe they might take it away.
Okay, this is the way to go. I mean, okay, Kagendra, let's just go by phase. Lele plays an amazing Arlie, right? That's gonna set things off. You have the Yuan, Senku, Weera, depending on where they want to go with this kind of thing, it can definitely play off as well. Weera is an MVP on his own, but if the Vitality side, they were thinking about it, but it looks like they're gonna go with more the tried and true, the Zhang Fei, the Lung. We've seen this Team Vitality. These are heroes that they like to play.
Well, speaking of things that they want to do against Team Kage or Kagendra here, we're seeing the Augment still not a priority on the bans, right, Tofu? And it's been a representation teams here in the HOK Championship are more ready to address this kind of power pick previously on the meta before the patch was happened. This is kind of like the strength of these teams right now, that they could actually deal with this kinds of early game advantage.
Oh, for sure. I mean, after the rework onto the Ogren, right, where his stats were kind of taken down a little bit, this puts a lot of pressure on him by specifically players like the Dharma, right? So 90 specialty, the Dharma, gonna be putting in a lot of work for the team today. We have seen Void in the previous series putting in so much work for the team, right? And it's something that I'm gonna expect of the same quality coming out from 90.
Speaking of quality, the Mankey, you do spot something significant here for Vitality. I mean, you've brought up so many amazing facts here that could be a winning key for Vitality's hero sources.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're just kind of forcing it out, right? They don't want to kind of deal with this. Weera is the type where he wants to be sustaining. The Mankey can kind of play that game as well. They want to kind of limit what the, what Team Vitality's CT boy is going to be bringing to this table. So it's kind of like, don't play the same play style, right? Kagendra want to be playing the long sustaining fights. They have a lot of sustain with the Yuhan, as well as the Ogren, who has that life steal, the damage, everything in the kitchen sink.
Right now, since you're talking about kitchen, what could be the best possible tools here for Kagendra to address the continuous bans on the roamer here? They know the Arlie could be the problem as he gets on the right items, specifically on the items for an Arlie to activate. Sunbin being the choice here for the last ban of Vitality. Now, either the Lee and Bo, we're looking at the hover, but things that are available still for Arlie. The Yari, we haven't seen it just yet for this kind of option for an Arlie. How about the Adolia is out as well? What could be the possible scenario here for... Oh, Zhang Fei, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's been taken by Vitality, too.
Yeah, I mean, okay, it looks like they're going to go the Zhangzhe instead. It's going to kind of round it out. Shanks, okay, they're going to go instantly Toon and the Haino, they're going to showcase both of them. Again, a lot of sustain, a lot of abilities to kind of play the play style of the Yuan, right? They want to go for a longer fight? Fine. The Dune is able to do that. He wants to be sustaining, he wants to do that damage. Plus you have the Haino, you have the Fate Rewind. And if they get going, this lineup can be super scary. Plus, if you're looking at that lineup, all of them, they look like a whole bunch of boy bands, pop stars, whatever you want to call it. They look stylish, and I think they're going to do this game proud.
Yeah, and one of the things that you need to consider is this is a Highland special, right? The Haino is one of his signature picks. He has won games off of the Scepters of Fates he has thrown, and it is going to be secured. So this is a very scary lineup coming up from Vitality. But I like the fact that Kage, the Kagendra team, they're going to pick up the Zhuangzi. This is going to kind of mitigate all of the stuns that are coming in from the side of Vitality.
Since crowd control is so present here in the lineup of the Vitality, so right now I think Kage's Might is probably the answer of damage. You have the Arlie, you have more time, you would need more time rather to activate that thanks to the Zhuangzi option here for Kagendra. He might babysit more of this lane most of the time to not get caught just yet, because with the CC immunity could actually give an advantage in terms of comeback in team fights. Pairing it for the last pick, I think this is a great recipe as well to have an answer to peel off the damage of the defense of Vitality.
Yeah, and the Hanshin has been picked out, right? I mean, we saw it in the last series. It did quite well in that one as well by Dominator Esports. So it seems like, you know, the Indonesians are kind of onto something. They tend to like the hero. It has a lot of potential in terms of being able to burst you down and kind of control things. You can kind of go in and out with the fight or die as well. So it kind of rounds it out. But again, if we're looking at it, there's not a whole lot of, I would say, tanks. It's more of guys that can take a shot, out heal it, and just kind of continue on with this fight.
Let's see how this goes. How will they translate this kind of draft in this game? Because as we talk about how this match is going to go, it's all about how momentum is going to build up with KAGENDRA and with the Vitality, as you mentioned there, Tofu. This is a spicy matchup once again. Let's see how this goes in this game that they're going to be meeting once more.
Yep. Welcome to the feast. It is the first match of the series here, the last game of the day. KAGENDRA going up against Vitality. Not new foes, but a new challenge this time.
Speaking of which, starting up with the objectives here, rather, and looking at these teams, we hear the crowd cheer, and as they support these teams of today, we may see how the rotation is going to go. Prioritization on the mid lane. And this sums up more of the vision that KAGENDRA wants to do up against Team Vitality by starting it strong with data, because again, they need more time to pull this lineup off. I call this one of the somehow expensive lineup to pull off, not unless you go aggressive early game against the Luong.
Okay. No, I mean, yeah, definitely. Getting that early game, getting those items to start doing some damage, is obviously gonna just rack up, right? I think Kindofu kind of pointed it out in the draft phase about how Highland, his Hano, is absolutely sick. But the thing is that if he has a rough start, he's not able to do the damage, he will fall. So it's one of those things where if you were going to try to limit somebody from having a good game, you definitely want to put a little bit of pressure on the Highland.
Yeah, I think with the Scepter that the Hano has, I mean, congratulations to everybody who had a chance to have a lucky day today, because now everybody gets a chance for the early game. It's all about having a great start today, man. Like, looking at this, as you've mentioned, the Scepter, it's a great way to poke everybody, to kite specifically everybody in the mid lane, to put pressure as well for KAGENDRA.
Yeah, and it's all about putting pressure, right? You know, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't, and sometimes... Oh, okay, it looks like there's going to be a pause. I was going to say pin for a reason. I don't even know why. But it looks like there's going to be a pause in this one to kind of start things off. A little bit of a hiccup just kind of going into this one. But okay, let's talk a little bit about the drafts here. Who do you like in terms... Who has the better draft? Let's go with that.
For me, I'm going to go with Vitality this time around, because having the first line of defense, again, you have the Luong, you have the Zhongfei, the Dharma, there's so much crowd control. One of which that this could be a winning start for Vitality is to slow down the early, depending on how they want to rotate around the map.
Okay. No, yeah. I see that. The potential is there. Doing the damage is kind of insane. But, you know, the Zhuangzi is the ultimate counter, right? Stop all the CC. I think it's the right hero to kind of go up against this lineup.
I like your thought process. I actually prefer the Vitality's draft in terms of growth, right?
Nobody asked you, man.
I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And at this point, Vitality has the healthy growth, right? Really putting Vitality in the name. Yeah. At the same time, KAGENDRA, as long as they play this game and drag it out long enough, it's going to be a tough time for the side of Vitality.
Okay. Yeah, and I do agree with that, right? I think the fights, the longer they go, the better it's going to be for KAGENDRA. But at the same time, it's like, are they able to do that, right? The early game is going to be super key for this one, because again, if KAGENDRA doesn't have the items, if they're not able to sustain, they're going to have a rough time, and they're just going to kind of falter on that one. So it really comes back to, again, the first 5 to 8 minutes in the game.
I think that's the main word of this game. Time. If both had the great opportunity to capitalize on time, this is one way to see who's going to be riding the momentum or starting up this kind of game. Because as we are on for this pause, we talk about mostly the outcome of the pros and cons heading to mid-game. The early, the Luong. So far we've seen some great plays today about these two heroes, but they need to be just specific about how they want to funnel every gold or damage items in for their winning condition in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, exactly. The farm lane is going to be really critical for the side of KAGENDRA, right? And this is a WeWar's job on the Hansing to try and cause as much disruption on the Vitality lineup. Let's go straight back into the action.
Okay, so let's kind of get this one. It's 2 minutes in. I think Mofers here is just going to do a great job of just zoning here. KAGENDRA need to kind of, I would say, again, Highland, that's the guy you got to somewhat limit. So if Weera's going to make any sort of rotation, you got to push him back. You got to make sure that he's not free farming, because he's kind of like the farm carry in that sense, where once he gets those items, he really comes online.
Yeah, one thing that we noticed as well, like Yuan can't get close to him, even on the mid area of that mid lane, mainly because of the high capability poke of that scepter. Man, it's a deadly thing even in the early stages of the game. Just by like a second, you would never know that your HP is almost half, and that's the one way KAGE is like trying to be careful of who's going to be not picked off in the early stages of this fight. Speaking of which, they gathered at 4 right in the middle.
Yeah, and I mean, look, all of the lanes are kind of sturdy. I don't see any lane that's like super vulnerable or a bad matchup. I mean, if we're looking at the top lane, the Dharma, the Ogren, as long as both play it kind of, safe, there's really no kill potential in that top lane. Mid lanes, the Yuan versus the Highland Haino, I think that these are kind of a bit of a wash as well. So again, there's really no set vulnerable lane that I'm like, hey, I need to just kind of gank this as much as possible.
Yeah, they're looking for a start, and Winter is falling a bit low, but it is not going to be enough at this point. But KAGENDRA, they find some advantage, and they're going to try and put more pressure. Could this be the first blood? It will be a big marker here, will be pushed away.
Well, that skin right there, Mofers right now with the Inkscape. For those of you playing Friday Frenzy, you might get it as well. So going back on this kind of start for these two teams here, like the objective could dictate something else because they're not committing to any possible gank. But speaking of this possible scenario, mid lane has been the most focused point of Vitality to push against KAGENDRA. This is the pressure that you want to do.
Yeah, you want to pressure him. And okay, look, KAGENDRA I think they had 2 MVPs going the way of Weera, if my memory serves me correctly.
Yep.
So he is the guy that you want to limit as much as possible. And he's been kind of farming around. It looks like the Tyrant easily picked up here by Team Vitality. Not really much that they can do. Bumpers, though, is going to limp away.
Okay, so it's going to be a slow and steady game for these two teams. They're waiting for the right moment to strike. Meanwhile, if they could keep this kind of composition, this could go either way. The goal lead they're slowly just being par with one another by the second, but now Senku gonna be trapped here.
Senku in the middle of 4 under his T1 will start to run, gets stunned up as well. This could be the first blood of the game. The shield, the saves, they come in, and here it is, the Fate Rewind on the side. And at this
Lele going down, and that seems like a bit of an issue right here, right? And the fact that Lele had gone in for this one, again, very, very squishy. It's bound to happen, but it looks like they want to go for more, and I think Team Vitality will be happy with that 2 kills as they walk away here.
Yeah, as they walk away, that's 2 kills already. They managed to seize the opportunity here from KAGENDRA by just fighting back. With that, they got the kills, they got the turret, and from this point, they managed to gain control on how to dictate the fight against KAGENDRA.
Yeah, and great for them. I mean, this is what you wanted to have done. They were being aggressive. They were pushing it out, and they caught him out. Look, Lele tried to actually save Senku on that one. He did end up saving it, but he sacrifices himself by putting himself into harm's way, and unfortunately for him, he goes down. That's not what you want to see if you're a KAGENDRA fan.
Yeah, they need to push back this kind of initiation that KAGENDRA would want to make as of this minute. But looking back on how that game went, this is an opening for the Overlord to be taken, but KAGENDRA seizes the opportunity to take this for a push against Vitality, being focused or just want to just take out of resource away from KAGENDRA.
Take it away. Right? KAGENDRA will be happily taking that Overlord. Not the greatest thing. I tend to prefer the Tyrant first, but, beggars can't be choosers at times. Lele's going to back off here. Going to kind of defend that, but look at how clinical Team Vitality have been. They've been pushing things out. Every sort of, rotation, the resources that are committed into the bottom lane have turned into, towers. They've gotten the bottom T1 and 2, and now they've taken the mid T1. This is exactly what you want to see Vitality here.
Yeah, this is the vision. This is like the main goal on how to deny this lineup. You have the Ogren, you have the Arlie. There's a ticking time bomb moment here for Vitality that they want to prevent. Look at the zone out that they're doing right now. Taking away most of the resources, but one thing that they need to be wary of is how to maintain the lane push, because we're seeing like 2 turrets been taken out in the bottom lane. They're left with 1 to be defenseless with the base.
Yeah, and the KAGENDRA really took a punch to the face at this point, right? The fact that, it's only 2 kills, and it's like 7 minutes in, but my gosh, they've lost so many towers that space is going to be a problem. So getting some sort of farm, and we talk about time and time again how KAGENDRA want to go late game.
Yeah.
But if there is no possibility to get to that late game, they might have a hard time here.
That's the question. Will Vitality let that happen? Because looking at this, they want to double time on how to deny this. But Weira, on this point, he wants to maintain the push. He wants to maintain the pressure because looking at that overall they have taken, they want to maintain as well on how to push through against Vitality's movements.
Yeah, and so no matter how bad it looks for KAGENDRA, Weira is still finding ways to get farm. He's level 11. He had a slight advantage. CT Boy just hit 11. But Weira is all over the map and just finding those resources and whatever he can take, right? So he's kind of like that win condition on KAGENDRA. He wants to carry this team, and he's putting his team, he's giving them a chance because he's able to continue to farm.
Yeah, slowly we want to make it down here, the struggle of the lineup of KAGENDRA. Now, this is the problem. Who's going to be the front line here? They have crowd control immunity, yes, from Muffers, being the Zhuangzi, but this is just the problem here. With the damage that Vitality has right now, it could mean a pick-off from KAGENDRA's frontline defense. That's why we don't see any part of initiation because there's no front line. So what they're doing right now for a trade is they let Weira push from top lane and possibly divert the attention of Vitality from moment now.
Yeah, Senku a little out of position. He had to commit the Unending Sorrow to keep himself alive. They really probably will not be engaging anything at this point. Okay, now it's back off of cooldown, so they have a chance. This is where you need to start defending. You got to defend this T2.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it looks like they're going to go in. Oh, they goes right back. Weira playing Ruthless Assault. The fight or die, excuse me. He gets back to safety. He's going to continue to stay on. But KAGENDRA right now, not having a mid T2 or the bottom T2 at this point. This is not a great situation for KAGENDRA.
Okay, somehow I am thinking that this is a possible fail-safe initiation or strategy that KAGENDRA want to do against Vitality is probably fight them macro-wise. Get for the push, start a pressure point, and this might distract everybody from Vitality. But it's easier said than done.
Yeah, at this point, it's a difficult situation to be in, right? 9 minutes in, you have 2 tier 2s being taken down in the mid lane, and this is where Vitality shine, especially for Highland. This Haino pick has been working wonders for the team.
Yeah, but he's only level 11. His scepters, I mean, yeah, they hurt, but they don't hurt as bad yet. Of course, I'm not KAGENDRA. I am not getting speared in the sceptered in the face or anything like that, but it's still one of those things where he has the poke. He can be annoying, and KAGENDRA will probably back off at this point, but so many things went wrong in the beginning where now...
Ooh.
Oh, okay. A little bit of a fight.
Yeah, they will not get it at this point, right? It's a wasted out Unleash the Beast, but it does buy some time for the side of KAGENDRA because they need to buy as much time. They have lost too much resources at this point, 15 seconds before the neutral objectives come up. This is a shadow version, mind you. So we have to make sure that they are positioned properly. KAGENDRA, this is not the biggest gap they've had against Vitality, but it's something they cannot trifle with.
Okay, speed of resources. The goalie is not too far yet from Vitality. They could turn, KAGENDRA can turn this around. You just need to have the right process on how to take us to a team fight. So far, nobody's coming close against this Overlord, but so far I think they want a sandwich play KAGENDRA right now.
Highland, he's the one that sets the fight here. It's going to be the Unending Sorrow, putting down Hans. He's trying to go into the front lines as well. 90 gets a nice knock-up, and at this point, 4 members on the side of KAGENDRA, they're going to start running away because there's no more advantage to be had.
Yeah, Hans actually took the truth to the face. He got smashed in, but he does survive, which is all you really need to do at this point. But Weira really wasn't in that fight. So KAGENDRA, if anything, they were looking to flee. They were not willing to take that one. Team Vitality almost gets another pick-off. Yeah, they got the 2 kills early, but largely after that, it's been neck and neck.
Yeah, speaking of which, the goal lead, Vitality needs to create a gap here on how to push forward in terms of getting the right items in to penetrate the defenses of KAGENDRA. They're not letting go of the enhanced Overlord just yet. They're waiting for the right moment to distract the members of Vitality. We will know on what could be the target push here because we have heard it launched as of this moment, and it's going to be in the top lane. That's where Weira was taking the crumbs against Vitality to follow.
Yeah, and okay, look, KAGENDRA are the type where they're able to come back, and Weira is the guy who can do this, right? I hate to put all my eggs in the one basket in this, so to speak, but Weira is, he's proven to time and time again that they can do this. If you're a KAGENDRA fan, you don't like to see it sometimes because, hey, if you're winning and you're stomping, it's much more fun to watch than, you know, having to come back every single game where your blood pressure just goes through the roof.
Yeah, and one thing also to note with the items here, it's one item away for Arlie to complete the best possible item here to shine with damage. But one thing I also observe here from Long or from Shanks, he built or start with the Starbreaker, an anti-tank item, knowing how strong is the front line now of KAGENDRA.
Yeah, look at the movements though. Yeah, Team Vitality are going to take this top T2, but we're up pushing the bottom lane, happily trading that. Now it's a 4-on-4 in the top lane. How they proceed here, I mean, they need to clear the creep waves, but KAGENDRA maybe looking to fight. Hyland looking to go in. No, he's just going to kind of spot himself out, hit to 88 miles an hour, and reverse his time.
Yep, on the back lines, Weeraw is looking for more action. He's going to go in for Hyland, gets the kill there, and that's going to be a good start for the fight. At this point, it is all about the damage, and Weeraw uses the Blood Rage, gets out of the fight at this point. KAGENDRA, they survived, but did they lose their T3 on the top? They did, and it's a painful process for KAGENDRA.
So Hyland going in, providing that vision, and he's like, oh, I'm just going to be cheeky. I'm going to use the Fate Rewind to get out of this. And then KAGENDRA like, actually, the ult is on cooldown. Weera goes in, finds that weakness, kills Hyland, gets the pick off, and he gets the safety.
Completely capitalizing that small window, and in turn, great tides for Vitality. They don't want to go out. We see how KAGENDRA doesn't want to commit in any point possible because they're waiting for the right moment. Again, is there a right moment right here for KAGENDRA? Because the winning condition for damage here is on the shoulders of Lele, and the best possible way to sustain that is with the front line of Muffer. So when will be the right time? It depends on when they want to place it. Because again, you said if they could rewind time here, Vitality could be aggressive by creating pressure such as this one.
Yep, they're getting caught at this point. Senku as well as Muffers will be looking to run away at this point. It's a push and pull, right? KAGENDRA, they're trying to establish map control. They want to make them shift around the map so that Weeraw can kind of steal the towers away from the lanes as well.
Yeah. Oh, looks like the next one.
Yep, they will jump in. Weeraw is just poking and prodding at this point. They don't want to overcommit. And with this, Hyland lands a couple of a nice few Scepters of Fate. This could be the one that turns the fight. This is an important one. 13 minutes and 50 seconds in. They don't want to lose this objective. Yeah. Weeraw is nowhere to be seen. They are looking for an opening. Will not be stolen. In fact, they will go for the trade.
Yeah, and also on even Stevens on the objective. They've taken the Tyrant for themselves. Kage decided to go with the damage. Again, this is the moment to shine. Arlie needs to get into the damage to take up against Vitality's defense. Again, this is Zhangfei and as well as the Haino. Looking back how these heroes are so strong in life sustain, they need to penetrate through it.
Okay, KAGENDRA's still behind in terms of net worth lead, right? It's about down 3K, but that was a really smart play. They saw that T5. Oh, but they're going in!
Yep, 3-man knock up there. That's going to be a good start for the fight on the side of KAGENDRA. They get the first kill. Hans goes in. More damage to be had, but it's 90. He changes the whole fight. It's going to be huge. KAGENDRA, they go back for more. There is going to be 2 kills, 3 kills, and KAGENDRA, they have hit the strides. This is the power of the Indonesians as well. They're going to chase in City Boy running for his life along with Shanks as well. It is going to be a stop in the aggression on the side of KAGENDRA, but they won big this time.
This is the moment that they have been waiting for. Wait for the outburst to pop and completely turn things around, taking down 90, Hyland, and Winter. Now this is just City Boy and Shanks gonna have to defend these turrets away from them. This buys time for KAGENDRA, and solely by that Tyrant objective that they got, they have more damage to penetrate through, as we've talked about a few seconds ago.
Yeah, what a great team fight by KAGENDRA. Understanding where the limits were, being able to get that pick off, starting it off, and turning that into the towers, right? They've taken both of the mid T2s, or the bottom T2s are gone, or the top T2s are gone as well. And so KAGENDRA have turned this, they flipped the switch on, they've turned the tables, and now they're in the lead, and KAGENDRA, they're very good with the lead.
Yeah, completely turning the tables against Vitality. They need to be very aware to position because Lele right now is much more confident to attack, even for just a pick-off. Now, I think this is the moment that they don't need to lose their chill, right?
Yeah, for sure.
This is the moment to shine for KAGENDRA. They have waited this long, almost 16 minutes in. Now, Vitality needs more ways to address it. We're seeing 3 Master Swords from the Haino, from the Luong, and even from the Dharma, just considering how the enhanced basic attack really matters to them because there's so much front line in KAGENDRA they can actually sustain. This only checks that they need more damage right now heading to the later stages of the game.
Yeah, Team Vitality here, like they had the lead, they've kind of lost that one big team fight, and look, KAGENDRA turned those into conversions in terms of objectives and towers, which has been great for them. Now, Team Vitality, how did they get back in this game? I mean, they're kind of behind. They haven't really been able to find the right pickoff. KAGENDRA have done such a good job of moving around the map.
Okay, how to come back? Yesterday, we've seen some Dune plays that completely turned things around. Man, that kind of hero in the latest series of the game, having the Eye of the Phoenix, I am Mr. Sustain right now, literally. And if Vitality gets a grip on how to push or pull KAGENDRA in such certain team fights, specifically happening now, they could turn things around. The goal leads not that far, though.
They're looking for more. At this point, 90 goes in, gets a few hits onto Hans. He's going to have to slide himself out of this. The map control is still in favor of KAGENDRA, but it's not done. Vitality, they're looking for more. It's going to be the Fate Rewind committed as well. Reroll, he has eyes onto 3 different members, but at this point, he's still deciding, is this the best fight to go in? Right here is going to be the Kaleidoscope. Coming in from the side of movers, they want to just deter them from coming in. The wave management is of utmost importance now.
A low-scoring game, ladies and gentlemen. What could be the possible win condition of these two? One small mistake right here and right now could mean a win. Again, we're looking at 2 turrets, 2 versus 3 turrets that could easily be pushed either from these two. So one small window opportunity, KAGENDRA and Vitality has already proven themselves worthy to take this game away. It's just game number 1!
Game number 1, of course. And Team Vitality here, they were like, okay, we're going to take the Tyrant. They feign it, and actually they attract their attention to the Overlord, but Lele's already taken the Overlord, gets on scot-free. Mind you, KAGENDRA had seen that Team Vitality were moving to the Tyrant, thought they were going to go for it. So again, KAGENDRA, you know, they're counterpunching. They're seeing what the enemy is giving them, and they're taking away the weaknesses.
Okay. Look at that push up top. KAGENDRA right now, somebody needs to go back because the diversion and how Vitality wants to manipulate the map control. Look at that. Waves pushing in on the base freely. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and this
Save
is
by the Dragon.
Right, and KAGENDRA, this is why they've kind of prioritized those Overlords. They want the Vanguards. They want the push, put a little bit of pressure on all 3 lanes so that Team Vitality can't move and dictate where they want to go, right? They have to just be very reactive of what they've been given. KAGENDRA have done a great job of controlling this map.
Okay, now it's a very close contention fight between this objective. Again, no Primal Bond present for KAGENDRA. Now this is an open opportunity to take this again against Vitality because the damage buff that they can get through here would penetrate even the defenders of Winter or even Highland. Now this is very crucial. How can Vitality end this game?
Well, to be honest, they're making mistakes, right? When KAGENDRA went for that Overlord, they had an opening where they could have taken the Tyrant themselves. They hesitated, they were like, oh, maybe we should defend the Overlord. They shifted over there, and then because of that delay, they weren't able to get a free shot at the Tyrant, and KAGENDRA actually capitalized on it, took it themselves.
Okay, they're going to start balancing the damage here. It's going to be the T3 on the top taken away. So this is pressure alleviated for the side of KAGENDRA. They're going to have an even battleground across the gorge, and they are happy with what they've taken. They're going to start backing away 25 seconds before the actual biggest objective, Tempest Dragon's going to hit the stage.
Yeah, Han Shin doing a great job, Weeraw specifically, and this is just completely map control. Divert the attention because they can't beat them right now because nobody's committing yet for Vitality as we observe every possible scenario here. Beat them by dictating where the pressure is, finding the pressure point once again by KAGENDRA to take against Vitality. Now finally, the Tempest Dragon is arriving in this match. Now it's gonna be rain. It's gonna be rain. Now, what could be the possible way here?
Yeah, to be honest, like, do we expect any less? Right, Tempest Dragon. We think that this is going to go to a third game, excuse me, as well. These are 2 evenly matched teams, but you're seeing some small mistakes, and the other team is able to capitalize. So it's again, they're playing chess.
Who's gonna make a first move here? Who's gonna be the pawn? Because somehow, somewhere, look at that, the peel on Hans on the almost half HP.
At this point, Hans is just zoning them out. It's a one-on-one. And at this point, they will reset the Tempest Dragon. They don't want to overcommit. KAGENDRA, they are standing on knife's edge here. They don't want to make the mistake. At the same time, all of the scepters thrown by Highland. They're putting, and not only just putting out the damage, they're giving vision as well as to all the different members on the side of KAGENDRA. Lila is going to try in. Winter is falling below. Reroll catches her out. Will move, and it's a huge burst. That is going to be the first kill. This is a Tempest Dragon secured for the side of KAGENDRA. And look at that. Vitality, they understand they've lost. They will cut the losses, start running back.
Okay, it started with Highland, to be honest. He was all the way up in front. He actually committed the Fate Rewind. Because of that, he had to play a lot more defensively. Unfortunately, they were pushed back and they were on the defensive foot. Winter kind of got a little bit of out of position, was picked off, and that did turn into a Tempest Dragon. And now KAGENDRA in the driver's seat here.
That was a very crucial pickup that KAGENDRA did. Now there's some sort of a miscommunication happening where they're being out of position from Vitality. Look at that. An amazing opportunity for Weird to just come in. And with the follow-up of Lele, that was a complete understanding on how to take the Tempest Dragon away from Vitality. The early game was in their hands. Now, in this window, KAGENDRA is more ready to take the opportunity now in the later stages of the game.
Look, my Bahasa is a little rusty, but I'm wondering if KAGENDRA actually stands for, you know, Iron Will, right? Because this is a team that is so resolute, they're able to kind of take their punches, but they're always in the fight, and they have this never say die attitude.
Yeah, they know when to strike, and this is the
Oh,
moment.
tipping on the scales, Weeraw catches forward. That's a nice stun. That's going to open up the base in the middle, right smack there. And at this point, Movers, he's trying to provide as much slow for the team so that Sen could get the stuns in as well. Han's going to provide pressure as well. The Dragons do touch onto the crystal. The disruption start. Han's going up. 1-on-4. He's controlling all of them. Weeraw on the back lines coming in. Where is Lola? Laying the pain in as well. They will get all of the life bars down, but it is going to be the Sage's Sanctuary threatened at this point. 1 life down. It's going to be a first kill. Highland gets it done as well. Movers has to run for their life. Second life as well, but it's not enough damage. Not enough life. KAGENDRA, they see the opening. They get it. Can they finish the game? The crystal is threatened, and at this point, it is KAGENDRA. They take game number 1.
Wow, Weeraw, look it. He was by clear MVP in that game. The fact that they were like having that rough start, but he was able to get far. And then in the end, you saw just how surgical he was, able to get it. Mind you, KAGENDRA really played well. Everybody stuck together as a team. That's what you want to see. But man, they earned that one.
They really waited for the right window. It was the discipline that took them to a greater situation in the later stages of the game.